All right, welcome back to Comedy or Worse. I'm here with a very special guest,
Margaret Star.
Yay! Welcome. So, do you use a stage name?
Nope, that's my real name.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
My husband, his last name used to be Starikov, but he wanted to it's Russian,
Sure.
so he wanted to not be Russian anymore.
Okay.
So, don't know why. So he, when we got married, changed it to Star, which is also kind of a cute name, so.
Yeah.
And now we regret it because everyone thinks I made up my name, so.
Sure.
But it's
You're
okay.
trying to say that you're a star.
Yeah.
Already a star, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't doing comedy at the time, so.
Yeah. So, how did you get into comedy?
Well, I've always been a comedic actress. You know, I did like lots of theater and musical theater growing up, and always liked to just make people laugh.
Nice.
But then I went into opera and focused on that for a long time, and then I got into burlesque, and I realized, I really like making people laugh. And I stopped doing opera at that point because it just was a dead end. So, and then the pandemic hit, and I stopped performing, and I had a baby, and then I was like, guess I'm done performing. But that wasn't really working for me, so I suddenly realized I wanted to try stand-up, last year.
Sweet.
So that's how I got into it.
Nice. So once you started, did you get addicted right away?
Yes, absolutely. I took a class. I took Tony Calabrese's class last year, and everyone in my class would come to class and say, oh, I didn't do the homework. I didn't do any of the writing. And I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm such a loser. Like every single night I was writing stuff and it was terrible. And they were really funny, and I would get on stage and I would say, well, I worked really, really hard, and this is what I came up with. But I absolutely loved it, so it was really addictive for me, absolutely, and it still is. I can't stop working on it.
Oh, that's
Makes me really
awesome.
happy. So yeah,
Sweet.
probably you relate.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty similar, yeah. So do you wish you started comedy earlier?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? I just never thought I was funny enough to be a stand-up. I always loved stand-up. I was just like, well, I'm not funny enough, and no one was telling me to. Like, nobody told me to go into it.
Sure.
I know a lot of people who go into it say everyone was telling them to, and that wasn't me. So I was just like, I'm just going to do it anyways. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
So when you were writing in the comedy class, were you doing songs or?
So one reason why I went into comedy was I was wanting a break from singing. I'm a voice teacher, and I was having a lot of trouble enjoying singing in front of people for money. Like I just wasn't really enjoying having that job anymore. And I had a lot of anxiety around it. I have a lot of anxiety just in general. So I just wanted a break from singing, and I thought, I'll just do stand-up. But then my teacher kept saying, you have to sing. And I was thinking, oh, damn it. Like, I came into this to not sing. And even with burlesque, I went into burlesque not planning on singing. They're like, you have to sing. So I ended up doing opera burlesque for years. But so I can never get rid of opera. It's just always going to be there.
Right.
And I don't really even listen to opera. I'm not an opera buff. I went into it young, not really, knowing what I wanted at 19 years old. So I just have this skill now, and now everyone's making me use it. So, but it's fine. So I was not planning on singing, but they encouraged me to in class. So
makes sense.
And it helps me stand out as a comedian and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, from the outside, I think that you really embraced it, and
now I do, yeah. And I've always written parodies, just secretly. I just write parodies sometimes for fun for myself, and then Tony was like, write some parodies, and I was like, what? You actually want to hear them? They're really stupid. Okay. So I started sharing them. And some of them are really terrible. Like, the only ones I bring to stage are the ones that are okay. So, but, we just keep getting better every time we work on it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Let's see. So, what is your writing process?
Do I have a process?
Or you just go up there and improvise a song?
Oh, no, I don't improvise very well. No, I'm a perfectionist, so I don't like to improvise, but I would like to get better at that.
Did you study for this?
Did I study for this interview? Actually, no, I didn't.
Yay!
Because I didn't know what we were going to do.
I didn't send
but
you
I was
questions
like,
ahead of time.
I like to talk about myself. It'll be fine.
Yes.
I think every stand-up likes to talk about themselves.
Sure.
What was the question? What's my writing process? I don't know. Like, I'll write. Like, I watch my toddler. So if I don't, usually I teach when she's napping. So I teach, and then if I have a little bit of time, I'll write or I'll practice. And then at nighttime, if I'm not doing an open mic or performing, I'll do a lot of writing at night, and then I force myself to go to bed because you need sleep. So that's basically my writing process. I love writing. It's really fun.
Cool.
And basically I'll write, and then I'll reread it and edit. Mostly it's editing. It's a lot of editing and rewriting, right? So.
Sure. Absolutely. So who's the funniest person in your life right now?
The funniest person in my life? I think all my comedian friends are really funny. Everyone I meet doing stand-up are hilarious. I enjoy talking to them. My toddler's pretty funny in her own way.
Yeah.
She likes to make me laugh. But she thinks really simple things are funny, like screaming really, really loud. That's not the thing that I like, but she thinks that's hilarious, especially when we react, like, ow, or the cat, like, runs away. She thinks that's really funny. So, but I can't think of anyone in particular.
Okay.
My husband is not very funny.
That's a good balance.
He's a good fan, though. So, I mean, he's funny. He has a good sense of humor, but he's not a comedian. So.
Sweet. Let's see. I asked everybody this. I don't always know the answer, but when did we meet?
Oh, probably at one of my first open mics, I think. I think I saw you perform a couple times at
Mic Drop?
Maybe it was Space Bar. I think that was no, Mic Drop. Yeah, Mic Drop was my first one.
Yeah.
And then I went to Space, and then I went to yours at Quantum.
Cool.
So, yeah, probably that's when we met. I think that was probably April. I think that's when I started doing open mics.
Sweet. Nice.
Maybe March.
Sounds good. So have you traveled to do comedy?
Oh, yeah. All the time. I'm touring downtown and Kearny Mesa. San Diego.
Cool.
Sometimes I have to drive.
Wow.
And sometimes, I always have to drive because I live far. So, no, I haven't performed anywhere outside of San Diego. Oh, wait, LA. I've gone to LA.
There you go.
I had one LA gig. Yeah.
Sweet.
That was cool. No, not yet.
So how did you get that opportunity?
Oh, the LA gig?
Yeah.
Rob is going to be, I had a show at Mic Drop that got rescheduled. So it's a musical stand-up comedy show, and he was going to be in it, and I know him through Tony, and he lives in LA, and so I asked him to be in the show, and they invited me to be in a show that he helps host in LA. So that was cool. So I drove up there to be in that.
Nice.
It's a very different environment. There were a lot of women in the show. I think it's because it's produced by a woman, but everyone that I saw that night was a woman. There were men that were going to perform later that I didn't get to see, but yeah, that was different. But it was similar vibe, it was kind of like a showcase type show.
Cool.
So most of the people there were comedians and friends.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest audience you've performed for so far?
As a comedian?
Yeah. Or talk about that and opera or whatever.
Well, as a comedian, probably 150. Probably 150, 170. But I mean, I've performed for 50,000 people.
50,000 people?
Yeah, as a singer. Yeah.
Dang.
I had to do the I think that's probably the biggest audience I've done, and it was broadcasted online. But it was back when I was a college student. I was graduating college, and they asked me to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and at the graduation ceremony. So those 50,000 people. So it was just other graduates.
Sure.
That was probably the most terrified I've ever been. Had to sing it with the symphony orchestra. We practiced and stuff, but yeah, I was absolutely terrified. But we did it. We did it anyways.
How do you feel you did?
I was okay. Like, I wasn't really, like, my singing was okay at that point. You know, I was only like 23, 22. I think it was 22 when I did it. So your voice develops a little bit later. So I think, like, it wasn't my best singing, but it was fine. I think I did okay. I was mostly nervous, so I don't think I was very expressive at that time.
Yeah.
So I really prefer comedy because it's way easier to, like, have fun with it. I think if it's like the Star Spangled Banner, there's all this pressure, and it's just so easy to make it silly, but you can't do that. So, yeah.
That's cool. Let's see. So, do you have any other hobbies or passions right now?
Unfortunately, yes. Too many. I have ADHD, I recently found out, so I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool too. So, yeah. I like hiking a lot. I actually hiked half of the PCT before I got pregnant.
What's that?
Oh, the Pacific Crest Trail. It's from Mexico to Canada.
Wow.
So I made it to Mammoth Lakes, and I was pregnant, so had to stop. Whoops. It was with my husband, of course, but yeah. So hiking, I like running. I think singing is work, so, but I do enjoy it. Maybe not that much. I get reading, I don't know, watching TV, movies.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
So, what are your goals in comedy?
Well, I have like the ridiculous goals and then the more realistic goals. The realistic goals is to like do it full time and like get to be at Vegas or something, and also it'd be really cool to tour. But I have a child, so that really sucks. And I love having a child. I just wish I had like. It's just you can't really like. Anyways, I don't know how that's gonna work. So, but it would be. I love traveling, so. My husband's super supportive, and he's like, yeah, let's go tour. I'm like, you have a job. So maybe one day we could maybe a little bit sometimes tour. I don't know. But that would be neat. But also just being somewhere and having a consistent show would be cool. And yeah, just performing consistently would be nice. So,
Sure.
Yeah, trying to have more realistic goals.
Right, well, there's short-term goals and then long-term goals, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So do you have a favorite joke right now? It could be anybody's joke. It doesn't have to be yours.
Well, I have a lot of favorites. Like, it doesn't have to be mine?
It doesn't have to be yours, no.
No, not off the top of my head. Just, I'm trying to be clean. And it's, that's really hard. I know some people are, I know this one comedian, he also sings, and he's like, man, I just keep being too clean. And I'm just like, you suck. That's really hard for me. But anyways, no, I don't have a favorite joke right now. I just like really dirty jokes, so. that's where I go.
Sure. Okay. So do you have a favorite fan interaction? Like someone's like, oh, I really love your singing or your comedy or...
Probably my least favorite thing a audience member will tell me is, you have a beautiful voice. Like, if that's the first thing they tell me, I'm like, oh man, I didn't make them laugh. Like, that's the first thing I think, because I'm here to make people laugh, not enjoy my voice. Like, if I wanted people to enjoy my singing, I would be singing.
Sure.
At like a wedding or whatever, which I don't really enjoy at all, or at a show or whatever. I just don't enjoy it. So but that's usually the thing that people tell me. And it's nice. It's like reassuring. Okay, I'm still singing well. Okay, good. Did I make you laugh? Like, that's what I really want to hear.
Right.
But it's also like, trust. Don't look for external feedback all the time, Don't rely on it. Have your own self-worth. But my favorite, interactions with audience members. Let's see. Well, I really like it when they say, I did really well. I like it when they say, I really liked that joke that you did.
Yeah.
What's really funny is people like different... I've noticed that I used to think, oh, so-and-so said that's my best joke. I guess that's the best one. And then so-and-so then tells me that this is the best joke. And I'm like, really? You like that song? Okay, well, maybe that's better. And then other people will say, no, I like that one. And it's like, oh, I guess everyone's different.
Yeah.
So what people like is really different. So that's been really confusing.
Yeah.
So sometimes I actually don't like it when people tell me their favorite bit, because
Sure.
then it like messes with me a little, but
Yeah.
it's also helpful. Anyways.
Have you had the thing where someone tries to tell you back your joke and they get it wrong?
I've had a friend of mine, a comedian friend of mine, was telling me that this other girl, a mutual friend of ours, is like, oh yeah, she has this great joke about mansplaining. And, apparently, like, she looked it up in the dictionary, and it was a real word. And then she looked up, what was it? What was the word? And I was like, this isn't my joke. I talk about that. And he's like, no, it was so-and-so. And I'm like, no, that's my joke. Anyway, so he remembered another girl. In his mind, it was this other person saying the joke. I was like, I even sing a song about it. She doesn't sing.
That's even crazier.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of shit about it now from me. So,
Sure.
yeah, I don't know. That's the only... no, I haven't had anyone else try to do my jokes. Mostly because I sing a lot, too, so I don't think people try that. Well, that would be great, though, if they did. I would love to hear it.
Sure. Makes sense. So, what's your favorite place to do comedy?
In front of a huge audience, of course.
Whoa.
Not in front of just comedians. That's rough. Open mics are probably my least favorite, which I think everyone would relate to, just because it's hard. But it's also, I'm trying to embrace it and enjoy it. Like that, this is the environment. It's kind of a challenge, So I think like every environment's actually, I'm trying to find enjoyment in it as like a puzzle to solve. Like, how can we make this a really good show?
Right.
But obviously the big crowd, the big audience is the best, because they're in the mood to laugh, and laughter is infectious, and so they all just have this big energy, and then it's easier to get them laughing. But if it's just one person in a corner, that's hard.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Cool. So what was your family life growing up? Kind of funny.
Oh man.
It's good, these questions. I didn't even design them this way.
Well, I grew up in Christian Science, which is a really weird religion.
Have they solved it yet?
No, and they think they're giving up. Yeah, it's I don't know if you know anything about the religion.
Not good things.
Well, there's a lot of good in it actually, but it was founded by a woman.
There you go.
In 1910. She was a really interesting woman. I know everything about the religion, but I'm not in it anymore, but I know everything. But yeah, it's just basically they believe that the world everything is spiritual, and this is just all material that isn't real. material plane isn't actually real, it's an illusion. And so if you ever get sick or anything like that, it's not real. And that's how, like, that's how Jesus healed. Like, he just knew the truth will make you free. And so knowing that the disease actually isn't even there, and you have to like be like Buddha and just like really know it to heal yourself. And so growing up, I was always trying to really like pray and like heal away my acne that I had for like 15 years and never would go away. And then like I thought, oh, maybe I'm a monster inside because I can't heal away my acne. So I had major like self-esteem issues growing up, but I loved performing. So I did a lot of theater, but I had this religious background that kind of made me sheltered and ashamed of just being a human.
Right.
But my parents are very loving. Like, I mean, it's not a perfect environment, but yeah, it was just Christian Science and then theater and then twin brother and older brother. And my twin brother and I did a lot of theater and singing together. He was more of a writer. He actually is still in the religion, and he became he was a playwright for a while and then a screenwriter, and he actually was working with Val Kilmer, who's a Christian Scientist. Little cuckoo though.
Okay.
And they were working on this like film about the founder of Christian Science, and it never went through because he was very difficult to work for. So anyways, he's not doing that anymore. He's not a writer. But yeah, so ADHD. I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, it's fine. What was your earliest memory?
Probably seeing I was thinking seeing my bare feet on the hardwood floor in the new house we got in Washington, but I think I actually have another memory of saying goodbye to this boy, because we were leaving this, like, we were temporarily living in these apartments as our house was getting built, and then I think we were saying bye, and so they're like, kiss, 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 and we were like, okay, and they're like, so cute, and I was like, I feel weird. I have that memory. I think I was like 3. It's an interesting question. You must hear all sorts of things.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, like, oh, this, but oh no, this one.
Oh, people think
like, oh, I don't know if it's real because I have a photograph.
Oh,
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. But where did you grow up?
I was born in Redwood City, California.
Oh, okay.
And then my parents moved to Washington State, like in Redmond, which is outside of Seattle. When I was like 1.5 or 2, I guess, we moved up there, and then we moved into that house when I was 3, and then we moved back down to California, Palo Alto, when I was 10, and then I went back to Seattle for college at UW, and then I came back down to San Jose for grad school, and I stayed.
Wow.
I really tried to give Washington a try again. Like, I was like, I think I like it there. Oh, whoa, wow, I can't do the winter. It's just rain.
Right.
Rain. So, but the summer is so awesome. Have you ever been to Seattle?
Don't think I've been that far.
Really? Oh.
I would visit like the Portland area.
Mm-hmm.
Right in like Castle Rock, Washington, and that's about as far as I would get, as far as I remember.
Mm-hmm. Well, I highly recommend it in September or at any time in the summer, not February. Don't go then.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, do you ever do like a character on stage, or?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing characters. I like to play dudes. They're just really easy to do. Annoying Valley Girl is fun, mostly because I think it's me. moms. Yeah, I've played a lot of characters because I did a lot of theater when I was a kid, so I loved playing other people.
Right. So, but did you ever do that for comedy now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do a dude sometimes. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. Old lady, I think I did one time, briefly.
So have you ever won like a comedy contest or anything like that?
Not yet. I haven't tried. So, are there any? Do you know any?
I think on Thursdays at Mic Drop they're starting something.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it.
Hopefully that would be fun. I'm very competitive, so if I try to do it, I got to make sure I can actually commit, because
sure.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier not to try.
Right. What about like a roast battle?
Oh, that would be fun. I think I would suck.
Okay.
I think I'm very roastable. I could think of a million things to roast about myself.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it would be hard to say mean things about other people. I have a hard time doing that. So, but I could try. It'd be interesting.
All right.
I haven't even seen those shows yet. I've just seen clips of them. Like at Comedy Store, they do that.
Yeah, you should come. I'm
Yeah.
roasting Dayton on October 3rd or 2nd.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think I saw some other people I know on that one. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
How do you get in on that show?
Talk to Gordon Downs, or it's Roast Battle San Diego.
Oh, okay.
On Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Or just tell people.
Who would you see me roast if I were to roast someone?
Jeez, you could roast anybody.
No, I couldn't. They would roast me.
Right. You should roast Thomas Lokenkard.
Oh, because he's an opera singer too?
Yeah, why not?
No, we're too similar.
Right. I guess maybe that's true. So what's the worst thing about comedy right
now? The stress behind a lot of things. Trying to get bookings, canceled bookings, having to be on Instagram all the time and post, and share, and to ask your friends to come to shows. It's oh, it's gonna be great, I promise. It feels really fake. I feel like a salesman. I do not like the salesman aspect of it.
Sure.
It's fine though. I think you have to do it. Actually, don't mind barking. That's fine, because it's people I don't know. But having to bark to people you know, it's I'm sorry. Ruff, it's just sorry.
All right.
Yeah. But it's also fun to make people laugh, so that's why we do it.
Cool. Let's see. So, what was your favorite city to live in? Is it somewhere in California?
Well, after grad school moved to San Francisco, and I lived there for 10 years.
Wow.
There's so much of it that I absolutely love. While I was there, it did get a little bit more intense with homelessness. And it got way more expensive, even though it already was when I moved there. And a lot of tech people moved in, so it was kind of
So what years did you live there?
What?
What years did you live in San Francisco?
Oh, 2009. Wait, when did I graduate? Oh no, 2010 to 2020. Yeah.
Cool.
We moved in 2021, so yeah, 11 years, I guess. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. It's so awesome. It's just surrounded by all this cool terrain for hiking, and the food is amazing. The food is actually healthy. I moved to San Diego because my husband's company moved here, and I'm not a fan of the Mexican food. and I know I'm probably going to get canceled by saying that, but there's no healthy burrito. I have to go to Chipotle. That's not like that. You guys are putting fries in your burritos. And we did that in San Francisco too, but like they had other options. Like I tried to order a burrito with like vegetables in it, and they're like, "Oh, you want a veggie burrito?" I'm like, "Well, I also like some meat in it, and rice and beans, like a full salad burrito, you know?" And they're like, "No, just 3 ingredients: just beans, meat, bread." You know. So I'm not a fan, and I don't really like seafood. I'm a picky eater. Anyways, I miss the food in San Francisco, but I'm starting to find places that have variety, and it wasn't as easy.
Sure, makes sense.
I don't even remember what the question was. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So when you were in San Francisco, did you watch any comedy?
Yeah. There's the what is it called? Cobb's Comedy Club.
Yeah, I've been there.
Punchline. Yeah, I only went to we went to some other shows, like like during the pandemic, there was a comedy show on the street. In San Francisco, like everything was closed. Like it was like the most liberal you could get about, wearing masks and all that. And it's funny, coming down here, like people don't really care as much. And it was just like really interesting. But anyway, so we went to comedy shows. Yeah. And I was always thinking like, they weren't that funny. But there's no way I could do that. Like I always thought that there's no way. And actually for a very long time, I thought they were improvising the whole thing. I thought every stand-up was just going up there improvising. I am such an idiot. I didn't realize they prepared it.
Well, that's good. That means they were better than you were giving them credit for, because that's the trick, right?
I know. I was like, wow, I can't believe they're going up there and just talking. Like, that's crazy. And they're making people laugh, like, just on the spot. That's amazing. And I didn't realize that they were actually preparing everything. Even when I went to my stand-up comedy class, I was like, oh, no. I figured he would want us to riff and, like, and there was a little bit of that, but mostly it's like, no, you prepare 5 minutes or 7 minutes of material, and you work on it a lot until you get everything right with the timing. And I was like, well, that's my jam. I love doing that.
Sure.
Riffing is a little bit scarier. So anyway, so I think that's one reason why I never thought I could do it, because I had a different idea of what it was.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you for validating.
So do you see yourself in the future trying to get better at riffing or crowd work, or?
I would like to do more crowd work. I think it's really important to do when it's a small audience, or when they're not feeling your material. You have to be really like open to connecting with them. So I'm trying to learn how to do that just through practice and watching other comedians do it who are doing it well. And I think it's important, but I do hear it's hard to get booked if you do too much crowd work or if you only do crowd work. So I think it's a really great way to transition from bits to bits to do crowd work. So I've been doing that a lot. It's been pretty easy. Hasn't been too difficult because you have a plan.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's fun when the audience is a little bit more engaged with you and they like surprisingly, and that's been fun too. So I actually really enjoy it.
That's cool.
You don't really have to come up with anything hilarious. You just be in the moment.
Yeah.
Nothing funny has to happen.
Exactly.
But sometimes it does. So.
For sure. Yeah. When you watch people who are really good at crowd work, it's like a decision tree. They have a plan. Yeah, for sure. I've seen some people's sets like one day and then the next day again, and like, oh, let's see how they do their crowd work, and it's exactly the same. It was insane. It's like, how did they do that? But you just pick the right people and you like kind of mold it back into the next question, Yeah, it was cool to see. Definitely. So do you have any merch right now?
No. I've been told I should make my little pink piano some type of symbol for me,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do, but I haven't even gotten to that point yet. I'm such a newbie, so.
Oh, that's fine. It's just
I just asked him the questions that are already written here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not coming up with these questions on the fly. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I mean, sometimes I do. So you've done acting, have you done improv?
Yep. Yeah, I did improv. Part of like theater training. You do improv. That was super fun. Yeah, and actually we did improv and opera training too. You do opera improv.
Wow.
Which is another level because you have a pianist and you all like operatically sing, and it doesn't even have to be in English. So that was challenge. That was fun. It's not very good, but of what I saw in our workshops. So yeah, improv is really fun. I really enjoy it. I've never done it by myself, so that's why I thought stand-up was like a solo improv. It's like, no way. But yeah, how about you? Have you done improv?
No, not really. Just riffing on stage, and I mean, I took one workshop, and I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely something that'd be fun to do, but it was a little hard, you know.
I think it's just really fun. Like, I don't think of it as like I think that would be fun time, like not like work time. I don't know.
But, yeah, I mean, you know, it was like when you're really getting down into your emotions, it's like you're feeling really vulnerable and stuff. That's what I mean.
You found that easy or hard?
It was a little bit hard, you know. That's also, it was a workshop, right? I'm sure it would get easier to be able to trust the people in your group and trust the audience.
Yeah. I have the opposite problem. I have a really hard time hiding my emotions. People tell me I am I have a very, what's the word? Transient? No. Readable face? I don't know. I didn't realize that. I didn't know until I got into comedy. And my comedians friends are like, we can tell that you're miserable right now. Or like, I really like watching your face when so-and-so is on stage. Like, what do you mean? So I have to like work on not expressing or being aware of it, I guess. More.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to like hide all my emotions. I don't know.
Well, I think like for me, it's really easy for me to express emotion.
Yeah.
Like, that's easy. I could do that for all of them. I don't have any fear of that. If it's my own emotion, I'm terrified. But if I'm pretending to be a character, no problem. So like in improv, you're playing a character. If that character's sobbing on the floor, no worries. But if it's Margaret sobbing on the floor, please go away. Please leave me alone. I don't want people seeing that.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So I think like if you're an actor, you just like, it's easy because it's not you. People are seeing you play someone else.
You don't do the miser method.
What's that?
Where you like really feel the emotions.
No, you do feel emotion, but you're playing someone else. So it's not like, it's not, you're feeling the emotion.
You have like the separation, right?
But you're controlling it.
Yeah, you're in character.
You're not losing control of the emotion. That's actually why I stopped singing for a while, because I was actually crying while singing. Like I had a lot of anxiety and depression for a while, and religion. And so I actually was a church soloist for a long time, because it's really easy money. And for a classical singer, it's like the most coveted job for a classical singer is to work at a church, and because you get paid really well, and it's a really easy prep, and but unfortunately it's every Sunday morning, which is a hard time to get up. But especially when you're not actually practicing the religion anymore, and you go out on Saturdays, so that's hard. But what was I saying? Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Sometimes some of the songs would be triggering, even though they're beautiful, lovely church songs. I would be triggered for whatever reason because of my background, and then like on stage, I would suddenly feel like I need to cry, and I didn't have any idea. I didn't know this was happening. It actually happened at my twin brother's wedding, the first time I sang at his wedding, and it was a Christian Science solo that he had picked because he's still in the religion, and they wanted that song. And I was like, I'm a professional, I'm just going to sing at my brother's wedding, and we practiced, and it was fine. And then I got up there, and I started, like, losing control
with my emotions. And I started bawling in front of everybody. And at first it was absolutely terrifying, but then I remember listening to myself singing, and I was like, this sounds terrible. And I started laughing. I was like, this is really, really funny. And then everyone in the congregation started laughing with me. And then like the poor pianist was just trying to get me to keep singing. And so we just like, you know, sort of hobbled through the song. And then I got off stage. So I had to force myself to sing the rest of the song while crying, which was absolutely painful. But everyone loved it. I hated it, but everyone loved it. So, because, you know, oh, she's crying for her brother, you know, and I was like, actually, no, I'm actually really unhappy in my life, and think I was just really unhappy, and that's why I cried.
Right.
And also I was happy for my brother, but also like, where am I in my life, you know, because I'm not getting married, I don't know. So, and then it started happening more, like I would get anxiety about it at church gigs, like, oh no, am I going to cry? And this anxiety would happen. And so, actually I'm working on this as a bit, this story as like a comedic bit, but right now it's not very funny. But but you know, tragedy and time equals comedy, right? So
yeah, see, comedy or worse, you take
I think it's funny now.
It's a cycle, you know. You take the worst part and you try to shove it back into the comedy.
There you go. Yeah.
But sometimes it just comes out as still the worst.
Yeah, yeah. So right now you're hearing the worst part.
Worse.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so then I had this like fear of crying while singing, and CWS is what I call it, crying while singing. Yeah, so I recently, like last year, I had to sing Edelweiss at my parents' 40th wedding anniversary vow renewal ceremony. It's a really long thing to say. And I lost it because I had postpartum depression last year, so I'm much better now. But anyway, so I was like, I'm not singing anymore. I'm gonna do comedy. And then you should sing. Damn it. But when I do comedy, I don't want to cry because I think it's hilarious. So
that's good.
Yeah, so I sort of try to steer away from serious music because I might have this like unfelt grief still in there, you know, because we cry when we feel grief, right? And it comes up uncontrolled. So anyways, I think when you're acting, like usually you're in control of the emotion, but sometimes it can control you if you haven't centered yourself. Yeah. You have to be in a really like mentally healthy space to be able to control all those emotions. And if you're not, then you lose it on stage. Yay. So, but it's okay.
Yeah, nice. Cool. So you're thinking, maybe that would be a funny bit, like where you're pretending to cry. You're like singing a song and you pretend to cry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like it'll probably be a commercial. Something like that. Yeah, I'm still working on this new bit.
Cool.
Yeah. Don't want to give it away.
Oh yeah. We don't do that here. No. Another thing, the podcast, is to encourage people to go see live comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Come to San Diego or wherever you're at and go see live comedy. It's the best.
It is a good time.
Let's see. So, have you ever been on anybody else's podcast?
Yeah, I was on a podcast a couple years ago. It was a voice student of mine. It wasn't about comedy, it was about singing. So because I'm a voice coach, so I like talked about teaching and the voice and stuff like that, and trauma. Actually, it was a lot about how trauma affects the voice, because I forgot how to sing. I forgot how to sing in college when I left the religion. My voice left too, so I was like singing really weird all of a sudden. Like my voice sounded really weird, and my teacher was really confused, and he thought he broke me with his bad teaching, and he was a decent teacher, but like he didn't know what to do, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, must be me. And anyway, so I had to relearn how to sing, and apparently it was related to the trauma of like most of my identity was in the religion. So when I was like, oh my god, the religion's not real, like what? Like I stopped believing in it. then I like didn't know what to believe anymore, and I didn't know what was real, and so like my voice just stopped working. Like my body didn't know how to do it anymore, so I had to relearn how to sing. But I got a new teacher because that teacher retired, and he was like, I'm gonna fix you, and I was like, okay. And he did okay. Like, you know, I got a lot better. I got more confident. And but then it wasn't really until I started doing therapy that I realized that incident was connected, and that was way later. So, and now I sing way better now, just because I went to therapy, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So the mind and the body are very connected. I have no idea what the question was about. I'm sorry.
I don't remember either. And that's a sign of a good dialogue.
That's a sign of a tangent.
I'm getting old.
No, it's me. I do this all the time. I can't help it.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
You know, just people write in and they'll tell us what we were talking about.
Thank you.
We're not going to rewind it. I'm not going to listen back. No. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is like live.
Oh, I remember you asked me if I've ever been on a podcast.
Yay!
Oh my God, I'm becoming my mother. Let me tell you this story. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so the podcast was about trauma and how it affects the voice, and I gave you an example.
Nice.
And then we brought it back. Yes.
Sweet. So would you ever do your own podcast?
I haven't. You know, I don't really listen to podcasts.
Oh no!
Except for yours. I just, I don't have time. I don't know. I'm not a podcast person. Sometimes I do. Like, I'll just watch comedy, I like watching podcast interviews.
Sure.
I just don't like listen. I can't do the listening thing. I don't even do audiobooks. Like, I need to read it.
Okay.
I don't like to listen to anything. I don't even listen to music unless I'm driving.
Okay.
And I think that's the ADHD, actually, and also because I think music is work, so... But yeah, listening to a podcast.
You're like analyzing it or something?
Oh yeah, I have constantly analyzed why I don't listen to things. Like, why don't I? Everyone else does it. Why don't I?
No, I mean, like when you listen to music, you're analyzing it, like.
Yeah, no, I do like listening to music, but I never know what to play. Unless there's a new song that I'm like obsessed with, then I'll listen to that. But like, or a new show, like any music. I like musicals.
Okay.
I'll listen to that, but then eventually get sick of it. So like, why am I going to keep listening to it? I'm sick of it now. What do I listen to? I don't know. So then I don't listen to anything. And also, like, I'm doing things. I'm in my head thinking about things. So no, I don't. I've tried. I listen to my friends' podcasts, and then I just can't do it. Like, why am I listening to two other people talk? I'd rather be there with them.
Right.
But there are some people that I like listening to, like Brene Brown, which is not comedy related at all.
Doesn't have to.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh, she's amazing. She's the one that has the most popular TED Talk from like 15 years ago about the power of vulnerability, which maybe you would like to watch since you had trouble being vulnerable in your improv.
Sure.
But she's great about the human behavior, and it's a psychology a little bit. So she's great to listen to. She's a leadership coach too. So yeah, I don't think I don't have any goals to have a podcast because I don't listen to them.
That makes sense. Cool. So would you ever like write a musical or?
I tried writing an opera
Okay.
right out of grad school about Sleeping Beauty becoming a zombie.
Wow.
It was going to be an amazing zombie opera. Yeah, that didn't happen. I just stopped working on it.
Sure. It's not easy.
No, and I also don't like writing music. I just really enjoy writing lyrics. And I mostly really enjoy the parodies because the format is already there.
Sure.
All I have to do is just plug in little surprise words, and then suddenly you have a really funny song that already has background music and format. So
Makes sense.
I have written many songs. I don't really think they're that good. I haven't really shared them. They're really sad, and they sound like a country song or a Christmas song.
Huh.
That's the music I write. So
Okay.
yeah. So I have never written a musical. I've thought about it. Like I have a lot of stories and ideas, but it's just a lot of work and I don't have time. I really enjoy writing comedy because it's like way more manageable. Like I can do that.
Yeah.
It's just me. I don't have to like collaborate. Like they don't have time to have meetings. Like
Right.
it's just you
So
creating your stuff.
Would you perform comedy with like another person, like a duo? Or?
I'd be open to it. I probably wouldn't be the one that leads it unless I had this idea to. I don't have any ideas right now to do that.
Right.
So, people have asked me like to do opera sketches and stuff like that, like comedic ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm new to this area. Like, we just moved here 3 years ago, and I didn't go anywhere because I was pregnant, and then I had a child. So most of the people I know are moms or comedians. So I don't know any opera people here.
Sure.
And I'm like not in the scene anymore, so I don't know if I ever will.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so no, I have no plans to do that.
Cool. Do you ever like do karaoke?
Yeah, that was an old obsession of mine.
Huh.
Back when I was like, I'm not going to be an opera singer anymore. I'm going to try other styles, and then I literally did try a whole bunch of other styles, and I made it a bit. I can sing other styles. I have this bit where I do them as an opera voice.
Right.
I actually can. I still sound like an opera singer a little bit. Like I can't fully. I did train to sing other styles. But karaoke is super fun because I can like actually sing other styles in front of an audience that I would never get to, like, because I'm not good enough to, well, I don't know. It's just a lot of work to get into a show. If you go to karaoke, you can just sing the song you wanted to sing in front of an audience, and then you're done. So, but I actually recently stopped drinking, so I don't do karaoke, and also I have a child, so I'm like, there's just not enough time to do karaoke too.
Sure.
So,
Makes sense.
yeah. But I do enjoy it. It's a fun time, especially when you're drinking.
Right. Cool. So, what made you decide to stop drinking?
Oh, I don't know.
It's poison.
It's a little personal.
Oh, no, you have to tell me everything.
Yeah, no, just in our, we're trying to cut back in my household, and I'm trying to help do that too. And I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Okay.
Cool. It's just easier not to, just to not do it at all.
Yeah.
I think is easier for me,
Makes
and
sense.
I've really been enjoying it. It's been about a month now. It's pretty new.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't drinking that much anyways,
Right.
like probably like an average amount, but it's nice to just not have it in the house at
Yeah.
all.
Well, it is poison.
It literally is, yeah.
It's crazy. People don't talk
Yeah.
about it.
And I really enjoyed that poison for a long time.
Yeah.
It helps with like social environments, because with low self-esteem, it's hard to talk to people, and it makes me feel a little bit like more welcoming. Makes me feel more comfortable being myself.
Right.
Because sometimes I'm really shy, and I think people think I'm stuck up or something. Like my mom used to have that same issue, just shyness.
Right.
So the alcohol would make me less shy. So I think that's why I liked it. It made it easier to interact with people. But then, like, I don't know, I got older and I started just realizing, I can actually interact with people without alcohol.
Right.
So
Makes sense.
no, I don't really need it. But I think that's why a lot of people like it.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to pretend I'm drunker than I am.
That's a good acting skill.
Yeah. People don't always believe it later on, but whatever.
What do you mean? They think
Well, I
that
guess
you're
I'm just
pretending?
too good at it. Just too
Oh,
good
they
at
actually
acting.
think you were drunk?
Yeah, I just had that.
Oh, wow.
I just had that happen.
Oh.
I was like, oh yeah, I don't really drink that much, and then Umbretta's like, no, I've seen you drunk, and then she told me about one of the times, and then luckily I told Santa the night of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's fun to act like you're drunker than you are.
Oh.
So she remembered me saying that.
Uh-huh. So she had your back.
She had my back. But whatever.
That's funny. No, I've never done that.
Well, you gotta be.
It's mostly, I need to pretend I'm not drunk.
Sure.
Uh-oh, I had two. oh no, and now I'm meeting all these people. Okay. And they're not drunk. All right. That's scary.
Yeah. Let's see. So is there anything else that you want to talk about?
No, not off the top of my head.
All right.
The election.
What is on the top of your head?
Hair.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, the election. Go vote.
No. I don't want to talk about that. No. Well, actually, one observation I've made, because I'm from San Francisco, which is like a liberal city, and we literally are in a bubble there. Like, you would never not talk about the election in front of people, like my students, like all of us are like, obviously Democrat, obviously, like everyone is. We make fun of religion there. Like, it's just, everyone is in that same headspace. And then I moved here, and it was like, no one talks about these things. But if they do, it's like, they have a completely different view than you. Like, I think everyone here has a different view of what they think should happen. And it's actually, at first, I was like, I felt like an outsider, and I couldn't. I'm actually in Rancho San Diego. I'm not in San Diego. So it's like very conservative over there. I didn't know that when we moved in, how conservative the neighborhood was. But that's okay. At first, I was like, and now it's like, it's okay. It's good to be open-minded, and to like, I'm actually really enjoying hearing the viewpoints of other people that think differently, because then you can understand why they think the way they do.
Sure. And
why they vote the way they vote. And so I'm actually enjoying all the different ways that people think, and I still have my own beliefs, but I'm more open to thinking about it in other ways. So San Diego is very diverse in terms of
it's
beliefs.
Because like humans are so malleable. Like, if you there's genetics in how you were raised, right? You could be just taking twins and put them across the country, across the world, and they're gonna just think differently. Well, I'm sure twins think differently, even if they're raised together.
Oh, I think you're talking about identical twins.
Yeah, identical twins.
Yeah, but I think also they've shown that identical twins have very similar personalities, even if they are apart. That's what I've learned.
Okay.
But no, I just have a brother who's the exact same age as me. Just a normal brother.
Cool.
Family dynamic.
That's, again, sirens. I guess I should have told you guys that was sirens on our end. There's no one following you. I mean, there could be. So check your rearview mirror. Look out the window. You know what to do. Pull over sometimes. Yeah. So have you ever been in a car accident?
Yeah.
Oh.
A couple times. First time was let's see. Oh yeah, the first time was crazy. I had that was when my sweet little car got totaled. My Plymouth Sundance, 1993 Plymouth Sundance. My first car. I was coming home from a church gig, actually, into San Francisco. I had to drive an hour to San Jose to it and then come back. And this kid behind me in a truck off of the freeway exit slammed into me, and then I actually hit the car in front of me.
Thanks.
And it was a really bad crash, but at the have you ever been in an accident?
Yeah.
Did you get whiplash?
Luckily, no, not really. Not that I remember.
Well, usually when you're in an accident, you get a lot of adrenaline, so the pain you don't feel until the next day. So I was like, well, I'm fine, whatever.
Right.
But that was terrifying. And then, like, I got out, and this guy in front of me, he comes out of his car, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? And he was like, hey, man, it's fine. He was super high. He was like, I think I'm just going to head out. Bye. And then he left. And this guy behind me was like, oh my God, are you okay? And he said he was tuning the dial on his radio, which I think meant like he was actually texting and didn't see.
Right.
So anyways, we exchanged insurances and stuff, and then
went our ways. But then the next day was actually, then I taught some voice lessons. I just went straight to teaching.
Wow.
And then the next day I couldn't talk. And my neck was completely stiff, so I had to go to urgent care. But we had to go on a plane ride because I was going to my cousin's wedding. So we went on a plane ride, and I was like, I can't talk. And then we went to urgent care when we got to Arizona. And then, anyways, it was whiplash, I found out. But I had already closed the case, so then I had to pay, I don't remember. But don't close the case of your insurance. Oh, no. They paid for it.
Right.
And then it kept coming back. Like, apparently whiplash can come back because you if you move your neck a certain way, it'll come back.
Nice.
And I didn't know that could happen, but at that time the case was closed, so I had to get acupuncture and all this stuff that I paid for myself. But anyways, it's not that interesting of a story. But my car got totaled, my baby.
Nice.
It was sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was only $5,000, and that's how much it would cost to fix it. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So acupuncture works?
I have no idea. I don't
Just
know.
went to it?
Some people think it works. Some people think it doesn't. I actually
Did it help
don't.
you?
I'm way too agnostic to know. Well, it was relaxing. I went to a communal acupuncture place because it's San Francisco,
Okay.
and it was just down the street too. I just walk into acupuncture, and you go in, and then like everyone's on these like lounge chairs, just like this, and they look really relaxed. Like needles are poking out of their bodies, and then they like seat you down in a chair, and then they start putting needles in you, and then like they can like tell where you're tense. Like they always put them right here, because I have this like wrinkle right here, so they always put them right there on me, and I told them I had whiplash, so they would like try to help relieve the pain and stuff. I definitely went for a few months, and it helped, I guess, a little bit. But I ended up getting a roommate who was awesome. She's a physical therapist. So she taught me all the tricks on how to reduce getting that coming back. And you basically have to go up, down, left, right, side to side all the time for the rest of life.
Wow.
You just do that multiple times a day, and it keeps your neck happy. It keeps it from getting stiff. So,
Okay.
and now I don't have any of that issues anymore.
So,
Up, down, left, right, or right, left, and then side to side. So ear to shoulder on both ends. Yeah. So don't move your shoulders.
Right, yeah.
Just move your head.
I don't know why I'm moving my
And if you
shoulders.
do have like what's it called, a flare up, where it like it hurts one direction, you're only supposed to go as far as where you can until it feels like you're poking it but not punching it.
Right.
So she says like poke the bear, don't kick the bear or whatever.
Sure.
And she says motion is lotion. So usually when we're in pain, we don't want to move. She says to move again to the point where you're poking the bear, not hitting the bear.
Right.
So movement's really important. Anyway, so I think that helped me more than the acupuncture.
Sure.
But maybe it helped too. I have no idea, honestly. But definitely doing this, I can definitely say that works.
Cool.
Yeah.
You hear that? You gotta move.
Motion is lotion.
Cool. Alrighty. So how do people get a hold of you on social media?
Oh, I am Margaret Sings Funny on Instagram.
Yes. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So you joined Instagram with that, or you changed it?
No, I've been on Instagram for a very long time, as many names. First, just it was my personal account, and then I made it my voice teacher account. So it was Mag's Voice for a while, and then I changed my business name to The Nurtured Voice. And then I stopped bothering with the voice teacher account, and I was like, I'm not really into this. And so I wasn't using it, but I already had like 300 followers or whatever, so I just made it my comedy account.
Cool.
And changed the name. So, yeah. But I feel like I should have just opened up a new Instagram, because now all my old stuff's still on there. I could just delete it, but yeah. Whatever. There's no right or wrong, I guess.
No, it's true. Cool. Alrighty, so I think this is a natural place to end, right?
Okay, sounds good.
Unless you want, do you have any questions for me or, hey, it's Alex.
How long have you been doing comedy?
This is year 6.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Where did you start doing it in San Diego?
I started, well, I mean, like, year 6 of, like, actually doing it. Like, first time I did comedy was at the Madhouse at the other location. It was like a contest. I didn't know. I just went on stage. I was doing a podcast at the time, and I just did some podcast voices. And like I had this character called Scare Eye. I was doing horror scopes, where I would talk like a scary voice, but just read people's astrology sign.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
Yeah, so that was fun. It didn't go so well on stage. It didn't go off so well on stage, I think, because like when it was just your voice, people can imagine whatever. Oh, that's a monster or a gremlin or whatever. But then when you're doing it on stage, it's like it was like people were like weirded out by it.
Oh, gotcha.
A little bit. Also, I don't know. That was my first time on stage too, so I don't know. I got some votes, but I didn't do it for a while. Even though it definitely was, even though I didn't do good, it still was like, oh yeah, I'd like to do this again, you know. But I was working an office job and it just seemed hard to get away. Yeah.
Are you still working an office job?
No, after I got laid off, a company got bought and I was redundant. So I was looking for another job, but then started doing comedy. Got addicted to comedy, and then like just started working here at the Madhouse. And I haven't been back to an office.
Oh, nice. Gotcha.
But I fell into a management position, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it has its. I mean, things are going well now. I don't have to work at night most times, so that's good.
Interesting.
Yeah. So are you doing any type of work right now, or just focus on comedy and raising your child?
Mom, voice teacher, comedy.
All right, so you're just doing voice teacher.
Yeah, I'm teaching voice like 2 to 3 lessons a day. Yeah. While she sleeps, and then my husband comes home and I'll teach a lesson or 2.
Sweet.
Yep.
Nice. Alrighty. So it's been about an hour. That's a good length for a podcast.
Oh, wow. Has it been an hour? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That went by fast.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
for having me on.
Of course.
Really appreciate it.
So this has been another episode of Comedy